Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today we're going to be talking about Luokuang, going with the ticker LKCO, a bit of due diligence, news, technical analysis, and what I think about this one. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So Luokuang. On their page here, by the way, once you get on right away, it's going to be in a Chinese language, I believe. You got to go to the top right and enable the English part. So their business here, they're devoted to providing the most efficient and most dependable spatial-temporal data that is serviceable worldwide. Now, they have smart transportation, which is based on a full vector of non-sliced map technology. We provide a real-time spatial-temporal computation and intelligent POI recommendation services to complex scenarios combining persons, vehicles, locations, and things. Based on our spatial-temporal data engine, we provide management, query, and analysis services for more than 1 trillion tracks of people and vehicles. In Nanjing's vehicle tracking management systems, which has been operating for 3 years, we have provided real-time query functionalities in our 4 dimensions by time and by space, by ID, and by logical association of time and space. Based on our spatial-temporal cloud index technology, a data fusion service across multiple database and indexes and smart transportation has been established to break the barriers among B clouds to support special business needs. And they also have autonomous driving. So based on a full vector non-sliced map technology, we provide spatial-temporal service to enable exclusive lanes for autonomous vehicles. Based on the spatial-temporal cloud index technology with edge and cloud collaboration, we offer a new HD map solution on top of an approach of collecting while using, to leverage the observation and measurements capabilities of the vehicles by quickly completing vectorization and change detection at the edge and synchronizing to spatial-temporal database in real time. We substantially reduce the cost of HD map acquisition. And then you got vehicle-to-road communication, which is based on a full vector non-sliced map technology. We can push live traffic off the road and report the specific or special road conditions on the sided road, and publish these data live to an online map in real time, which can reflect the real-time changes in maps of other vehicles. Based on the edge and cloud collaboration technology, we support the local collaborative linkage and vehicle-to-road communication and vehicle-to-vehicle communication with a delay less than 20 milliseconds with the radius of around 2 kilometers, and brings about one map for vehicles on the roads, one brain for vehicles on the roads, and the presence awareness among vehicles. The driving intentions of each vehicle is aggregated in order to give the next minimum comprehensive analysis collaboration. And they also have remote sensing data services. They have built cloud services platform for real-time processing distribution applications of large-scale image data, which can provide real-time processing and dynamic services and online applications of around 100 PB image data. As a technology service provider to China's Center for Resources, Satellite Data, and Applications, and various cloud service providers, we're the supplier of PaaS and SaaS cloud service of national and remote sensing data platforms. This is really starting to remind me of Palantir, but for China. The Internet of Things, we provide cloud service managing real-time data from up to 100 million sensors for smart cities Internet of Things and industrial Internet of Things. We support real-time processing of IoT in sub-seconds and intelligent monitoring of productions, processes, and city operations. Our service have been successfully applied to oil and energy industries, manufacturing, Internet of Vehicles, intelligent Internet, and other industries. And last but not least, Smart City, we provide high-performance foundation spatial-temporal cloud platform service to whole industry chains service providers of Smart City and mobile internet LBS services, which they provide ability to create, manage, use, and secure their maps data on the maps and other spatial-temporal information. And from there on, we can start taking a look into the latest news. But before then, I do want to remind you that if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to drop that subscribe button on the bottom right corner and leave notifications on. It helps my channel a lot, and don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to talk to me a bit more and an easier way to reach me is through the Discord. It's totally free in the description below. There's no charges, etc. Now, towards the latest news, I'm just going to read some of the latest ones and then pinpoint on the specifics as well as some of the developments they had in the last couple of years. So Luokung signs automotive or autonomous driving data services contract with leading global auto manufacturing and auto parts supplier. Luokung also announces the approval of eMap Go HD map standards, and they also announced a subsidiary that eMap Go contracts wins the Generation Traffic Control Network and Smart Highway Demonstration Project. They also announced the removal of Executive Order List, favorable conclusion of the Department of Defense designation matter. I'll go into that in specifics in an SEC filing. And they also go on relating towards reaching the minimum bid price back in April 2021. So they don't actually need to do a reverse split on that sense. Now, another thing here that we're looking at is the latest news, of course, still part of that. One of the latest news, which is a leading spatial-temporal intelligent big data service company, yada yada, today announced the signing of designated service contracts for autonomous driving data collection and data management in China, one of the world's top auto manufacturers. And EMG has also been engaged by separate international auto parts supplier headquarters in Europe to be designated service provider for autonomous driving simulation testing and data management platform projects. EMG will also be responsible for carrying out a portion of the autonomous driving simulation testing, data collection, and data management, and certain related services. In addition to the project service implementation contracts, Luokung is also working closely with the customer on future initiatives. And also another one here, which is a leading provider of navigation and electronic map providers, EMG, currently have announced that the intelligent and connected vehicles high automated driving map acquisition element model and exchange format standard T/CSAE 1852021, sponsored by Luokung, wholly owned subsidiary, is actually currently online. And so this is the first published industry standard for the highly automated driving map production industry in China. It provides a unified set of standards for developments of highly automated driving maps. Next on here is relating as well towards the vehicle to road collaboration relating to 3D real-life highway digital management systems that is provided by EMG. And then another one here, this is relating to an executive order relating to the courts, and I'll talk about this one in a second. Now, a quick thing, this is a history and development of the company. This should provide you a really good idea on who they are. So they're a holding company and conduct their operations through a wholly owned subsidiaries named LK Technologies, a British Virgin Islands Limited liability company, and its wholly owned subsidiaries MB Limited and its respective subsidiaries, which possess two core brands. Luokung and SuperEngine is a mobile application to provide business to customers B2C located-based services, and SuperEngines provide business-to-business and business-to-government services in connection with spatial-temporal big data processing. In May 2010, we consummated an initial public offering of our American depository shares for gross proceeds of 16 million shares and $16 million, my bad. And our ADSs were listed on NASDAQ Capital Market under the ticker symbol KONE. On August 17th, 2018, we completed the transaction contemplated by Asset Exchange Agreements, AEA, with C Media Limited, entered into January 25th, 2018. On August 20th, 2018, we changed the name to Luokung Technology Corp. Our American depository shares, ADSs, were voluntarily delisted from the NASDAQ Capital Market on September 19th, 2018, and on January 3rd, 2019, they started trading under LKCO. Now, on August 17, 2018, they consummated an asset exchange transaction pursuant to which they exchanged all the issued outstanding capital shares in Topsky Infotech Holdings, the parent of Softtek, for issued outstanding shares of capital stock of LK Technology. In connection with the asset exchange, they changed their name on August 20th, 2018, and on September 20th, 2018, issued to shareholder of C Media Limited and the former parent of LK Technology. And then they go through a bit of specifics, but later on August 25th, 2018, LK Technology entered into a stock purchase agreement with the shareholders of SuperEngine Holdings Limited, a limited liability company incorporated under the British Virgin Islands, pursuant to which LK Technologies acquired all of the issued and outstanding shares of SuperEngines for an aggregate price of around $60 million. And then from there on August 28th, 2019, a year later, the company entered into a share purchase agreement to which the company would acquire 100% of Salia Holdings Company from Salia shareholders for an aggregate price of around $120 million, which includes approximately around $101 million in cash and the remaining $18 million paid as basically shares, and with a conversion rate of around $7 per share. In connection with the acquisition of Salia, as December 31st, 2019 and January 21st of 2020, the company made a partial payment of around $14.3 million and $18.5 million respectively, and on February 5th, 2020, they issued Series B shares to pay off Salia of around instead of a cash payment of around $6.1 million. And the company closed the 100% acquisition around March 17, 2021. On May 10th, 2019 and November 6th, 2020, the company entered into a stock purchase agreement for a supplementary agreement to stock purchase agreed for shareholders of BotBrain AI Limited, and that actually closed on December 4th, 2020. On November 13, 2019, they entered into buying Geely Technologies, and that actually as well closed down to around, I believe, January 2021. And December 24th, 2020, the Geely Technology sent a notice of redemption, and the company is in negotiation for an extension with Geely Technologies. On November 13, 2019, the company entered into security agreement with Accurus Capital. The purchaser, or I'm just going to go here, the securities purchase agreement contemplates periodic closing of around $10 million. On July 16, 2020, the company held the first closing pursuant to purchase agreement and received $10 million. The purchaser had received around 7.76 million shares on November 13, 2019 in consideration of that $10 million. The purchaser also exercised in the warrants and received 15.9 million shares, ordinary shares, upon exercise of the warrant. And on December 31st, 2020, the purchase agreement has been terminated. On June 17th, 2020, the company also entered into a subscription agreement on Daqi Hojin, and this one here, they had issued 15 million shares, or around $45 million, in basically the first closing up, and that will not occur around July, or will not occur until July 2020. And such closing will be for $13.5 million that will occur on August 31st. On September 30th, 2020, they gave $13.5 million and $18 million respectively, August 13th and September 30th. However, due to the impact of travel restrictions resulting in COVID, here they were not able to fulfill their US dollar subscription obligation to preferred financing agreements, and no such closing occurred. On August 10, 2020, the company entered into cooperation framework agreement with Nanjing Ontung Meteorological Data Limited. And this one here, the joint venture engages in real-time traffic information service for China high classes, urban roads, and urban and rural roads, as well as expressways, data travel, value-added services. Now, this one here, that joint venture was established on August 27th, 2020. So this gives you a bit of a good history about this company, basically everything you need to know in that sense. Now, there is a bit of other information. For instance, the CEO has an annual salary of around $500,000. And this one here, on June 15th, Luokung announces removal from executive order list, favorable conclusion of the Department of Defense designation matter. A leading interactive location-based service, Big Data, that's the company itself, has been removed designation as a communist Chinese military company. In addition, as a result of the omission of the company from the Executive Order 14032, which amends the supersedes Executive Order 13959, In opposing restrictions on trading shares of certain Chinese companies, Luokuang and its shareholders are no longer subject to the restriction pursuant to Executive Order 13959 as amended. The Department of Defense confirmed that the foregoing to Luokuang to the U.S. District Court and District of Columbia. In light of the foregoing, Luokuang and the government defendant have filed a joint stipulation to the company's lawsuit challenging the designation voluntarily dismissed, which will bring the lawsuit to a close. Luokuang has regained eligibility for the inclusion in the FTSE GEIS index and expects that it will be re-included in such index upon the stock market closing on June 21st, 2021. Mr. Song, Chairman and CEO, stated that we're very pleased that this favorable outcome for Luokuang and its shareholders. In the coming weeks, we expect to provide additional updates on our operations. We feel that the market potential for spatial yada yada. Anyway, so basically what's happening is that this company was seen as a part of the Chinese Communist military government or companies. And it has been kind of drawn backwards relating towards a court order. And so they don't risk delisting in that sense. And so that was a favorable ruling back in then as well. So all in all, you get an idea of the stock, now a little bit towards shares and interests, etc. So price over book, you're looking into 973 and price over sales around 40.99. Usually that is overpriced, so keep in mind that this is trading at a future valuation rather than the current valuation. The current price over sales for the SP 500, which is a bit different to compare to here, is sitting around 4 and the price over book is sitting around 5. Now the short float is 216. However, when you go towards the short interest per day, the short interest per day is sitting closer to around 25 to 35%. Now, as well, in terms of institutional buyers, what we can get to see that institutional buyers seem to be a bit more bullish than bearish in adding this one to indexes. And from there, we're able to see a bit more relating towards the total revenue. Their total revenue has been somewhat stable in the last, I would say, 5 or 4 years. Now, they haven't reported the 2021 results, but previously in terms of total revenue, they hovered around $18 to $20 million. And in terms of their net interest income or the total income, from what you get to see, is that the normalized EBITDA has been going worse. Well, EBIT has also been going worse, but the net interest income also seems to be a bit worse, as you get to see negative 26,000 all the way to negative 3.6 million. So this company definitely has some ways to go, but let's move on towards technical analysis, and I'll talk about what I think about it at the very end. Now, from a technical analysis standpoint of view, we start seeing some things that are really bullish. For instance, the 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA on the moving averages, and that might sound to you like gibberish, but these are moving average indicators that really give you a bit of an indication based on the historical price action. The price point is also above the 50 SMA, which is on 169, and the 200 SMA, which is on 106. Both are definitely bullish. And then there's an interesting thing happening. There's something called a trading action zone between the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA. The price point is currently between these two. These 2 points are 252 and 206. That's where the most positive reversals would occur. Now, in terms of the average directional index, this is cooling down from the $3 to the 221, where it was a little bit towards 40-ish and now back to 37.75. So the ADX here isn't telling you much other than a pullback. I'll talk a bit more about trends in a second, but the William % R, which is very similar to a relative strength index, also known as RSI, is highly oversold. What does that mean? It means when a momentum is established, you should expect more buyers coming in, and with the basic supply and demand equations, you would understand that the price point would probably see a rise. Now, on the MACD part though, you get to see that we might have hit a negative reversal / accumulation. The next few days might actually give you a bit more of a signal regarding that, but from where we're seeing, it's gone negative, but momentum's still positive. So what does that mean? It means it's actually more likely to see an accumulation. We will talk about key supports and resistance level in a second. Now, stochastic fast and stochastic slow both are dipping downwards. That is usually a warning sign. Now, in terms of the moving averages though, this one is expected to trade at 243 on the top, 221 in the middle, and 199 in the bottom. On the Fibonacci retracements, and the reason why I'm highlighting this one is because high frequency traders and institutional buyers use it. So the current support level on the Fibonacci retracements is 211, which almost got tested today. Below there, 170, below there, 118. In terms of resistance level, 252, 311, and 386 on the Fibonacci retracements. Now on supports and resistances, we get to start taking a look at significant supports and resistances levels. The current resistance level is 224. If it goes above it, then it becomes a support. Below there, you're looking into around 215, and then below that, you're looking down to 203, and then downwards to 182, going downwards to 166, 153, and then a little bit down to 139, 131, and then down to 115, going a little bit further to 93 cents, and then 78 cents, 68 cents, and then down to 62 cents, and then 50 cents. Significant resistances, you're seeing one at 241, above there 249, and then another one around the 271 range, 286, very strong one at 302, and from there on 386. Now Ed, what are some support points that we need to be very careful of? If it starts dipping closer to around the $2, that is a very dangerous zone, because then it pierces through a lot of these resistances that you get to see. Specifically, if you start hitting below the 194, you're in trouble. And then the next point where you're in trouble would be around the 160 level. And then from there on, 134. So that's how supports work. Now, each of these could be your own support level, depending or stop limit, depending on how comfortable you are and bullish about the stock. Now, with everything that we've seen, this company does hold a quite good level of sophistication. Now, in terms of historical price points, you get to see a massive drop previously, for instance, all the way from $100 all the way down to $585. And I'm not sure whether this is accurate or something relating to newly listing company, etc. Because remember, they did have changes. If you didn't watch the changes that we talked about, we went through the history of the company itself. And in terms of the company itself, there is a bit of views on it that's saying, hey, this is more of a Chinese communist company, military company, but the facts are that the courts decided it's not, or it won't be delisted as one. So it still has positive outcomes. It still does also cover a good impact of industries. So overall, I do think that we might actually start seeing back the $3 level, but currently we're testing a negative reversal, and hopefully we see a bounce before it does reach the $2. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to share down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.